Welcome, everyone joining us from around the world to this week's Global Wellness Wednesday. And whether you're brand new or joining us for the first time, or you're on here weekly learning from all the wonderful things that we share on our Wellness Wednesday, you are in for a treat today. I'm Dr. Estelle Tsalik. I am a doctor of physical therapy and a certified nutrition coach. And one of the things I've loved so much about being part of 3 is their proactive approach to wellness, because that is totally one of my passions. And this evening, I am so thrilled to have someone who is on the forefront of proactive wellness and is a passion so much about the phytonutrients and sharing all the good things. So this evening's guest is none other than Dr. Dan Gubler, who is 3's Chief Science Officer, Product Formulator. He is a Caltech trained, he has a PhD in organic chemistry, over 15 years of cellular absorption technology formulation experience. He has 16 patents pending or granted, and he shares his passion for phytonutrients and how we can use plants to heal our bodies and transform our health, both on his TikTok channels, his Instagram channels, and podcasts. So if you haven't followed him, please go follow him after this call, because you will learn something from him every time you watch. So he is joining us this evening from Utah. I am here in New York City. I am generally, most of the time, in North Carolina. So I'm so happy to welcome Dr. Dan onto our Wellness Wednesday call today.
Hello, Dr. Estelle.
Hi. I am totally giddy about getting to have this chat with you. And our approach this evening is going to be a little different from the normal Wellness Wednesdays, in that we are truly going to just get to know you a little bit and share what a proactive lifestyle looks like. And I couldn't ask for a better person to have all of these fun questions with. So without further ado, please tell us a little bit about yourself, and then I'll get into some other questions.
Yeah, well, Dr. Estelle, thank you so much. It's such a delight to be able to talk with you. I look forward to geeking out with you and having a good chat. It's been great meeting you, and I look forward to it. And welcome everybody who's on the call. I was able to meet a bunch of you in Hong Kong. If you were in Hong Kong, I hope you had a wonderful time. I sure did. If this is your first interaction with 3, your very first call, welcome. I hope that you'll find something that will help and benefit you to live a life full of health and purpose. A little bit about me. I grew up in Utah. I was born and raised in Utah. From a young age, I love science. That's just who I am. My grandfather was a famous scientist. He was a professor at Cal Berkeley. He moved to a university in Utah called Brigham Young University because my grandma wanted to be closer to family that lived here in Utah. And so I grew up palling around in his lab. And I love formulation. I've always loved mixing things together. I was talking with my mom the other day at our family dinner, and she brought up something that I'd forgotten a little bit about. During the summertime, you know, when you're bored as a kid and there's nothing to do and you beg your mom to do something, one of my favorite things to do was to go into her kitchen and just have free reign in her kitchen and to make potions, is what I call them. So I would grab all the spices from off the shelf and hot water, and I'd measure the temperature of the water, and I'd put things in, and I'd try things and whatnot, and I'd bribe my siblings and friends to try different concoctions and whatnot. But I love formulation. I love science. It's who I am. It's what I do. It's I eat, I sleep, I drink, I breathe science.
Yes, I mean, and anybody that has interacted with you or watched any of the social media channels will totally get that from you, and that's what I love. And I have heard the story of your famous scientist grandfather and what led you to becoming a scientist. But I wonder, given your training and your background, there's so many paths one can take. You know, when you go and get your diploma, you graduate, and you can go into different avenues with your degree. What led you to 3?
Yeah, so for me, it's all about proactive wellness, and it's all about finding normal, natural ways to support health. I'm an organic chemist, so I was traditionally trained as a synthetic chemist, and synthetic organic chemists, basically 98% of all synthetic organic chemists go into the pharmaceutical industry, and they make pharmaceutical drugs. And I was doing that. I was working for a pharmaceutical company as part of an internship when I was in graduate school, and they would give me a whole bunch of chemical structures to synthesize. And I remember synthesizing them. And whenever you synthesize something, or whenever you figure out how to make a druggable molecule, one of the things that they do is they give you an enzyme, and they give you the structure of that enzyme. And so you're supposed to design a molecule to fit in that enzymatic pocket. But what they also do is they give you, as your inspiration, a molecule from a plant. And I just remember, as clear as it was yesterday, this is like 20 years ago, sitting there in the lab, trying to figure out what molecule to make, and just looking at this chemical structure of this plant molecule. And it was from ashwagandha. It's called withamphorin A. I still remember it. And I remember thinking to myself, number one, that's a beautiful molecule. That's a beautiful structure. And number two, why am I trying to make this molecule for a pharmaceutical company when there already exists a beautiful molecule from a plant that has the same properties, that has the same activity, that's not going to be toxic to the body, that's not going to have a bunch of crazy negative side effects like reactive wellness methods can have? And I just thought to myself, isn't that a beautiful thing that Mother Nature already makes a molecule that can support human health in this area, which was cognitive health that we were trying to do. And withamphorin A from ashwagandha is fantastic at promoting healthy cognitive function. And so for me, that was kind of the starting point for me that, I really wanted to focus on using natural compounds from plants to support human health. And then in figuring out what was the best arena and area to do so, I loved the opportunity that presented itself in the nutraceutical business. Because if you do it right, you can have the same rigor as you can in the reactive wellness area. You can have clinical studies. You can have standardized bioactive molecules. You can use absorption technologies, all the things that you do to make a good system, reactive wellness, you could do in the proactive wellness space, and even better. And what really excited me is there weren't really any companies that were doing that to a degree that I thought was satisfactory in the supplement industry. So that's what attracted me.
No, I mean, and one of the things that attracted me to 3, because as a wellness consultant, I'm using my expertise, from my doctor of physical therapy training. And like you said, I work on the reactive side of medicine. I work in a hospital. So by the time you see me, you're sick. I always tell people, don't come see me. Rather have a consult with me on your proactive wellness. And it's been really fun finding products that I can wholeheartedly recommend to people that are derived from plants. I prefer to use that, highlighting what are synthetic molecules when people are reading labels, and really educating people on the difference between synthetics and plant-based, and even the term natural. Only 10% of something needs to be natural in order for you to put a label natural on it. And I'm like, what about the 90% in there? I don't want to have to guess. And so when I looked at these products, I never have to wonder what's in it. Is it going to be harmful? And that's really the innovative use of delivery technologies, because learning about bioavailability and absorption, these are things that have made a difference. And when you put something in your body, how do you really feel? And so I love that when I look at each of the 6 products have at least 3 different delivery technologies to help with absorption. So I wonder, are there others that you're using? Like, what inspires you to start using these different modalities? And what's the benefit for the consumer at the end of the day? Like, why does that make a difference?
Yeah, so my fascination with absorption, started when I was in sophomore organic chemistry, right? Those pre-med classes, those weeding out classes where medical doctors, people have to take organic chemistry, and they're like, oh, this is terrible. Have to just endure, get through it. Man, I love that stuff. It was amazing. And I remember sitting in sophomore organic chemistry lab and taking molecules from plants and putting them into water. And what happens? They crash out. They don't dissolve because they're hydrophobic. In chemistry, we talk about hydrophobic, meaning it fears water, and hydrophilic, meaning it loves water. And organic molecules are made of primarily an atom called carbon. And water is H2O, as we know. So there's no carbon, there's no C in H2O. And so what that means is that they don't like each other, they repel. And so that's a problem when you take a bioactive molecule from a plant and you put it in the body where the body's 60 to 80% water, depending on where in the body you're at. That's a problem. These organic molecules, boom, they crash out. And when they crash out, when they don't dissolve, then they're just flushed out of the body. And that's a big deal, and it just baffles me why no one in the supplement industry is really talking about that. I mean, do they not know? Maybe they don't care. Maybe they don't know how. But absorption is huge. That's why absorption is one of the key pillars of our company. It's the third key pillar: exploration, curation, and then absorption. Because you aren't what you eat, you aren't what you drink, you aren't what you breathe, you are what you absorb. And if you're not absorbing something, then it doesn't matter. And lifestyle factors are causing the body, the cells, to not absorb the nutrients, even the good nutrients that it should be absorbing from the food. So we really wanted to start with absorption. And that's why we focus on cellular absorption. And we use 11 different cellular absorption technologies. Now, there are some companies that have bioavailability delivery systems. Liposomes is a big one right now. That's really, really hot, right? You have liposomal vitamin C, liposomal curcumin, etc. But the problem is liposomes is not a one size fits all. For a liposome to work, the molecular weight needs to be between about 150 and 280, 300. That's it. If you have a molecule that's bigger, molecule that's smaller, it's not going to work. If it's bigger, it doesn't fit in the liposome. If it's smaller, it just leaks out. And so what we do here at 3, and the reason why we have 11 different absorption technologies, and we have more in development, by the way, that we're excited to announce when it's time, is that we need to make sure that all the molecules, kind of like Goldilocks, right? Too big, too small, just right, that all the molecules in our formulations are neatly packaged, are taken care of from an absorption standpoint, so they can all slide into the cells to promote human health. And that's why when people take our 6 products, they feel a difference right away. And the reason why is absorption. It's because, boom, the body's seeing a huge volume. These molecules are just flooding into the cells, and that causes a biological response.
Yeah. I mean, and you bring me to my next question, which is, it's 6 products. Sometimes you'll go to look at a brand and they have hundreds of products and all over the place. And I like the simplicity of the 6 products. They target key areas, I think, in health that people are wanting to look at, with gut health, with whether it's the Vitality, which is my all-time favorite. I call it my multivitamin on steroids. There are no steroids in it. Let me not start a rumor. A lot of times people will say, is there caffeine in this? I'm like, no, I promise there's no caffeine in there. It's just when you put something in your body and it's actually getting absorbed, you feel the difference. And so Vitality has definitely been one that people are always coming back to me going like, what did you give me? And when I travel, like I said, I'm in New York City for the next couple of days. It's so easy to travel because I just take a few packets with me and I don't have to worry about, what I ate for dinner tonight. And so talk a little bit about how these 6 products synergistically work into the simple system that people can use daily and can use all of them.
Yeah, when we were looking at what we wanted to do, number one, we are the proactive wellness company. So we help to make sure the millions of reactions the body performs every single second happen on time and in balance. So that was the premise. How can we support proactive wellness? And then what we did is we looked at, okay, if you want to be proactively well, what are the foundational areas that you need to have? Well, you need to have all the nutrients the body needs. Number one, that's Vitality, right? You want to support a healthy inflammatory status in the body. That's number 2. As you know, Dr. Estelle, not having a healthy inflammatory status in the body can lead to all hosts of issues. We wanted to make the immune system healthy and strong and make sure that's bolstered, particularly the gut microbiome. We wanted to support anti-aging. We wanted to support skin health. And so all of these things put together, that's what drove the 6 products we developed, because when you and we wanted to make it simple above and beyond, above everything else. We wanted it to be simple, because you go in to the grocery store, supplement store, or on Amazon or wherever, and you look for supplements, and there's just shelves after shelves of supplements, right? Vitamin A, B, C, D, all the way through minerals, all the minerals, calcium, magnesium, zinc, blah, 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 and all these probiotics, these different types and strains and words, and so we wanted to make it super simple to say, hey, forget all that. Here's 6 products. They've been curated for proactive wellness. They use molecules that we are in the process of discovering, molecules that have been discovered already, new molecules that we're discovering, and they have 11 different cellular absorption technologies. And they're really simple. You don't have to fret about when to take them, what time of day, etc. The best time to take our products is when you remember to take them. Just take them every single day, and you're going to see a benefit. Like you said, Dr. Estelle, you take Vitality, and whoosh, you feel that energy because now the cells are getting the fuel that it needs. It's pouring fuel into the engine. And now you feel performance, you feel energy, revive. You feel that right away with, muscle stiffness and soreness and aches and those sorts of things being, subsiding. When it comes to skin health, you see a difference right away. With immune health, when you take this product consistently, you see a huge difference in your immune system. Purify, you take that and you feel a difference right away when it comes to bowel health. And so that was the other thing that we wanted to do. Just taking a product on blind faith where you take something and you don't feel anything, but you hope it's working. I don't buy that. I don't buy that at all. With how complex the body is and with everything that's going on, if you're not feeling it, if you're not feeling something, or you don't feel something within a couple of days, let's just be honest, it's not working. It's not happening. And so we wanted to make sure that we design products that help the body physiologically so that you feel it, that it's happening, that it's working, and you feel it right away.
Yeah. No, I mean, and that is true because sometimes people are like, well, I'm taking it. I don't know if it's working. And I mean, I have to be honest. I would say a few years ago, I really wasn't paying attention. I took things in blind faith because you were like, well, I think I'm supposed to take a multivitamin. I don't really know why. And so for me, I want people to be informed when they make those choices, have a conversation, look at the 6 products. And like I said, if you don't want to get started with all of them, pick 1 or 2 areas that are really going to make the biggest bang for your buck in your health. I mean, I truly believe Vitality is a foundational health product, and you'll be hard pressed to find something as high quality with all of the things that wouldn't take up your whole counter. Like it's 1 box. So that I love simplicity. I am a busy mom. I do not have time to be trying to figure out which one did I take? Do I need a whole little system every day to remember to take my pills? And so when you were talking about results and as a physical therapist, we always used to preface when people ask how long it takes typically to feel something, we would go, well, it depends. So I'm going to put you on the spot a little bit. But when it comes to starting on the products, like what is typical results that people can expect? How quickly can they expect to see results because of the absorption technologies? Will it be faster or slower? Or, what is a realistic expectation for someone getting started?
Yeah, what a wonderful question. Well, to dovetail off of what you tell your patients, Dr. Estelle, it depends. It depends on the condition of the body, where you're at. It depends on, how sensitive you are to feeling things in the body, right? Some people are just kind of more naturally aware of the systems in the body and how things are going, and other people are not, and that's okay either way. What I would say, what we've seen typically for people who take Vitalite, after 4, 5, 6, 7 days taking it, if you pay attention, you'll notice an uptick in energy. That's what we've seen. For Revive, especially if you have, muscle stiffness and soreness that plagues people daily, like it does with a lot of people, see the difference in Revive after 1 or 2 days. Some people see it immediately the first time trying it, but I would probably give it a week to tell. With our collagen product, you need to go through 1 cycle, right? Take 10 days on, 20 days off. Although there are people who start to notice differences after, 3, 4, 5 days. And so, for all of them, I would say to give it time, give it, a week to 30 days. For some of these Eternal, I would probably say, 30 days. Purify is one of those that, again, some people feel and see the difference immediately. Other people, it might take a little bit of time. And so it just kind of depends on where you start from. But a week's time is not unrealistic to see a benefit with, 4 of the 6 products. And then Eternal and Collagen, can take a few days because skin cells, it takes a skin cell 28 days to grow and to mature. And so for that process of skin cell rejuvenation, that's 28 days. So it makes sense that, you would probably need to wait until about 30 days to see something. Although as those new skin cells are growing, the old ones start to slough off, and that brings in moisturization and hydration to the skin cells underneath. So you do start to see, or you can see, luminous, healthy skin as the process is going, as the new cells are starting to come up, the old ones are being sloughed off, and the mid-age ones, I guess we could say, that were underneath that we couldn't see start to pop up.
Yeah, no, I mean, and you're right. It depends is a great way to preface the answer. But like I said, for my clients and people that have been using the products, there are those ones that boom, you take it and you're like, oh, I'm taking next level products here for sure.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna go a little bit off here and go, you are formulating unique wellness products at work. And I know you're very passionate about it. What else do you love to do? Like, what does Dr. Dan do when he's not mixing things and formulating and coming up with unique products for us?
Yeah. I mean, I'm always thinking about science, honestly. I'm always reading something, thinking about things. I love to spend time with my dear wife, Jane. We love to travel. I love to travel. I just love exploration and discovery. I just love seeing someplace new, finding some new place. That's just kind of in my DNA, right? I loved it. And that's why I love science, because there's always something new to discover and explore. It's right around the corner, and it just really fires me up. So I love traveling to new places with Jane. Jane and I love to work out. That's kind of the thing that we do. We lift weights and, do cardio every single day. So that's fun. I love spending time with my children. I have 3 daughters, 21, 19, and 16. And so I love hanging out with them. I love hiking. The reason why I love hiking is because you can hike, you could talk with people. I love going with my daughters, but then you can also look for plants. It's kind of like a dual sort of thing. And going different times of the year, you could look at the different plants and the growth cycles and whatnot. So you wander around, you hike, and then you pick samples and you look at plants and stuff. And it's so great when you pick plants, because if you're tired and you're hiking up something, with your friends, and you all pretend to be macho and you're super tired, you can just stop and say, wow, that's a beautiful plant, and bend down and pretend to pick it or whatnot as you're like dying and out of breath. So it's a great strategy either way. You can save your machoism. But anyways, yeah, those are some of the things that I like to do.
Well, that's a great tip for all of us people, probably me. I don't like the outdoors. I'm a little outdoorsy, insidesy. Yeah, but I will use that tip for sure, where I can catch my breath with my friends who love to hike for further distances than I do. One of the things, wellness is clearly a lifestyle for you. And I'm always curious for people who don't think twice about how they spend their day. What is your morning routine like for someone who has a proactive wellness lifestyle? That's just what you do every day.
Yeah, so I wake up at about 5:15 in the morning, between 5 to 5:30, but usually 5:15. And then my wife and we get up and we go to the gym and we work out until about 7. And then we come home, help get my 16-year-old off to school. My other 2 are out of the house. They're at college. Get her off to school. I do some reading, I do some meditation, I do some pondering, and then I shower and get ready for work. On my way to work, I'm listening to scientific journals and different things like that. Science, Nature, New England Journal of Medicine, they have their daily podcasts. So I'm listening to those. I'm listening to scientific papers as I I get in, I make a list each day as I sit down of the most important things I want to accomplish. I pack my lunch. I eat a salad every day. I use different types of lettuce, chicken breast, tomatoes, fresh veggies that I put in the salad, not a lot of dressing. If I do use dressing, I make sure that there's no sugar. The fat content is pretty good there. And, I really pay attention to what I eat. We're talking about supplements and phytonutrients and medicinal component of plants, but food, right? Obviously, food has these molecules that can support health. And so I really try to make sure that I eat as many health promoting molecules from plants as I can. For breakfast, I have a protein shake, high protein. I add in blueberries, peaches, cacao nibs, different things like that, depending on how I'm feeling and what health promoting molecules from plants I think I need. At that point in time, I'll throw those into my shake. I work all day, come home, try to go on a walk with my wife, try to breathe fresh air, wind down properly so I can sleep. And I don't snack. I want to make sure that the fuel that I eat at these meals is consumed, so it's actually a type of intermittent fasting. It's called a 4-4-12, where you eat and then you wait at least 4 hours before you eat again, at least 4 hours before you eat again. And then after dinner, you don't snack. You wait at least 12 hours before you eat again. And those are, I could go on about a whole bunch of different things that I do, but in general, those are some of the things that I do to try to stay proactively well. And of course, I take my 3 supplements. I take Vitalite in the morning. I take Eternel and Collagen right when I get into the office or sitting there at my desk. I take Purify, Revive, and Immune during lunchtime. It's kind of my routine. But again, it doesn't matter.
No, I think, yes, I always tell people, whatever time you will remember to take them, please do. I do warn people not to take Vitality at night because sometimes it can interfere with sleep. And sleep is the one habit that I really want people to, protect as much as possible because it has such a ripple effect on the rest of your wellness and your health and your productivity and work and all that. And I love that you shared what your day and how you eat is like, because I know if you guys haven't followed the TikTok and Instagram channels of Dr. Dan, go check them out because on there, you are always talking about the health promoting benefits of different fruits, nuts, veggies, because you can easily add those things. I think sometimes there's a misconception that when you are promoting nutraceuticals and supplements, that you are trying to replace food. And that is so not what we are doing at 3, or just as wellness people, proactive wellness people. We want people to get all of their nutrition from food. But the state of so many things means that sometimes that is not always possible. And then when you're going to supplement smartly in a way where these 3 products have already been designed. So the other thing that I love that you started is your new series, Explore with Dr. Dan. I see there's a new episode out where you're in the Rockies. Where else might we see you pop up in the near future?
We're going to be all over the place. We've planned. I was sitting down with Daniel, and we're planning where to do these shoots. We're going to go all over the place. We're going to go to the desert. We're going to go to other rainforests. We're going to go to volcanic places. Because the beautiful thing about this beautiful world that we live in is in each of these different climates, you have different molecules from different plants, and not just plants, lichen, algae, liverworts, just all sorts of really awesome molecules. And these molecules are tailored to helping the plant survive. That's what these phytonutrients do, right? It's amazing that they're health promoting to us, which highlights the long history, that humans and plants have had for thousands and thousands of years, right? They've grown together and they're mutualistic. And so that's why when you eat plants, that these natural molecules, they just fit, they work. Now, obviously, there's some natural molecules that are not healthy for the body, and we want to make sure that that we don't do that. But we're gonna go all over. It's interesting as we're taking the samples back to lab and analyzing from the Rockies versus our first episode in the Pacific Northwest. It's just amazing to see the diversity of molecules that are quite different from our Rocky Mountain expedition versus our Pacific Northwest rainforesty expedition. And then when you go to the desert, it's going to be different. And then when you go to a different type of rainforest, tundra, volcanic, it's just really interesting how the diversity there. And so we're going to go everywhere, and it's going to be a lot of fun.
Oh, I bet. Well, if you need a guide in South Africa, rooibos tea only grows in the Cederberg Mountains
Ooh.
of South Africa. So I will be more than happy to tag along on that. But I mean,
All
we've been
right.
talking about the 6 products and how amazing they are, and they truly are. But I'm sure there are areas that you're thinking of expanding into. Can we expect more products coming to the 3 portfolio over the next year or so?
Yeah, so we have a huge product development pipeline that we're working on right now. And we're working on, every health benefit that you can think of, sleep, cognitive health, microbiome, skin health, antioxidant protection, et cetera. We're working on, and we're working on it feverishly. We're putting forth a lot of work. We have a lot of exciting things that we're going to introduce in the future. When we introduce those and how we introduce those, that's the decision of our amazing founder and CEO, Daniel Piku. But as a geeky scientist in the lab, I just keep innovating, thinking of new things, developing new things, making sure that stability's there, getting clinical studies, getting intellectual property. There's a lot that needs to be done in order to launch a product that's novel. There's cellular absorption technologies that need to be developed. We can use some of the ones that we use in the past of the 11, but for instance, in one of the formulas we're working on right now, all the 11 cellular absorption technologies, all of them don't quite fit some of the molecules that we're trying to encourage into the cell. And so we've actually had to develop a new absorption technology. And so, when it comes time for that, that's going to be exciting. And we're working on other absorption technologies as well. The other thing is we're never content with where we're at. Let me make it clear. Our 6 products, when it comes to proactive wellness, is the best system in the world. But we're not content with that. We're always discovering, always exploring, always pushing the envelope. Because if you're not, someone else is. And we want to always stay at the forefront of innovation. We've seen in history that when, a company or an individual, you look at, athletic performance or whatever area, when someone gets complacent, someone else comes along and they pass them, right? So complacency is not something that we do here at 3. Our desire, our passion for exploration and discovery and just having fun. For me, it's just fun. I just love playing around, looking at new things, developing new molecules, thinking about new ways of doing things, just kind of sitting there pondering, putting things together in the lab. It's what I love to do. It's not a chore. It's not arduous. It's just, I love it. Kind of all that administrative stuff, that's kind of bothering sometimes. You have to take care of that. It's like, just let me be in the lab. Let me think of these ideas, but it's all good. We're having fun. And my personal guarantee to each of you as a member of the 3 family, or if you're here for the first time, if you haven't joined 3, my guarantee to you is if you join us, as you come along with us on this journey of discovery and exploration, we will always give you the best products with the most powerful curated phytonutrients, the best cellular absorption technologies, the best molecules from around the world that can support proactive wellness in ways that no other company can. That's our promise, and that's our guarantee to you.
Oh, wow. I mean, definitely it makes me very excited to be here using the products, being able to recommend them wholeheartedly with knowing that kind of promises behind what people are taking. So, I mean, this was just such a pleasure. I hope that people learned a little bit about you, a little bit also about the integrity and where we're going as a company here at 3. Dr. Dan, thank you so much for your time. I know that with the Hong Kong time difference, you probably don't know what time of day it is right now in your body, but I truly enjoyed being able to chat with you, and we will keep this conversation going for sure. And so thank you so much to those who tuned in live from all over the world. And those that are going to get to watch the replay, enjoy. And until next time, everyone, be well.